Straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from
Hi,
both
I'm Rupha
teams.
Ramani and you're watching Firstpost. Now, the story of comebacks and punching when the world considers you down and out is what makes sporting stories that much more special. The unpredictability of the outcome is what makes contests worth watching. And heroes re-emerging and fighting time and again is what inspires the next generation to take up sport. Our show is centered around one such story. Sanju Samson scored a maiden ODI 100 last evening and has got the whole country raving about him yet again. We decode the curious case of Sanju Samson and his career path. If that story is about one man against the world, that's pretty much how an Aussie cricketer, Usman Khawaja, is currently feeling, battling against cricket's governing body that he seems to feel cornered by. And UEFA's monopoly seems to be breaking. We get you all the details on the breakaway league and the new trend that is being persisted in the sporting landscape. But first, Sports 360 and all the headlines from around the world of sports. We'll start with the latest development. Striker Luis Suarez has reached a verbal agreement to join American football club Inter Miami. As per reports, Suarez met Miami's owner David Beckham and captain Lionel Messi to confirm his agreement. Suarez will now rejoin his former Barcelona teammates Messi, Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets. Only this time it'll be in the colours of Inter Miami. In hockey, Indian women beat Ireland 2-1 in the Five Nations tournament. Deepika and Sangeeta Kumari scored the goals for India. Ireland captain Catherine Mullen scored the only goal for her side. This was India's first win out of the 5 matches that they've played at the tournament. Real Madrid beat Alaves 1-0 in last night's La Liga match. The game was scoreless in the first half. In the 54th minute, Real were reduced to 10 players after Nacho was sent off for a nasty foul. Lucas Vazquez scored the winning goal for Real 2 minutes into second half injury time. Over in cricket, the West Indies beat England by 4 wickets in the T20 match last evening. England batted first and were bowled out for just 132 runs in the final over. During the chase, Shai Hope scored an unbeaten 43 runs to steer the West Indies to victory. With the win, the West Indies have clinched the 5-match series 3-2. An Indian wrestler, Sakshi Malik, has resigned from the sport. The Olympian quit the sport in protest over the new elected chief of the Wrestling Federation of India. The previous chief of the federation was forced to step down after being accused of sexually abusing female athletes. Now, a close aide of the former chief has been appointed as the new president, angering the protesting wrestlers, including Sakshi Malik. Now, I want to talk about the curious case of Sanju Samson. Now, there are legends in cricket who will always have the love, the loudest cheers, the unfailing support. According to the fans, they can do no wrong. And according to the board, they can't be kept away. And then there is Sanju Samson. Truckloads of talent, the calmest head on his shoulders, loved by his peers and his seniors, looked up to by kids taking up the sport, and absolutely adored by his fans. Yet, nowhere to go. In overseas conditions and with the eyes of just about everyone on him, Sanju Samson scored his first ODI 100. There was little emotion when he reached his 50, and when he finally lifted his bat on notching up a century, there was just a small smile and a cute gesture flexing his muscle. At the flash interview after his knock, Sanju says it was an emotional moment for him. The press conference that he attended right after is another testament to the kind of person he is. There is little emotion, just a touch when he says this.
I'm very much blessed in my genes. My father is also a sportsman. So no matter how many setbacks you have, there's no other way. You need to come back and bounce back. How much you can work on yourself and how much you can come back in a stronger way. I think last 3-4 months have been very challenging for me mentally. Going through all that and doing what I did, I feel very happy and grateful.
And you understand what he means when he says this. It's not the way he played, not the shots he hit, not even the 100. That's just a number. It was just the feeling that he was right there up again, doing what he knows and he does best. and for the team that he's unfortunately found no consistent place in for years now. And there's a lot of laughs as well in between that press conference, as you'd know, that comes with interacting with Sanju Samson. Then, of course, came a post on his social media handle that simply said, "I choose to move on." For someone who has labored on with little gratification in terms of being selected for the big matches, the big moments, Sanju is a mystery. There is so much calmness on the face of it, even as a war rages on within. Missing tournaments after tournaments, reading squad lists after squad lists which doesn't have your name in it can be painful and frustrating. Yes, yet there is no sign of the anguish anywhere. No interviews, he says. He's in his own world, continuing to do what he loves to do, continuing to stay calm as the noise outside continues. And he reiterates exactly that at the press conference.
It comes very naturally to me, I think. It's really important to take good decisions. When you are calm and aware of your thoughts, emotions, physical and mental being, that helps to take good decisions. Running around, my heart rate goes up, and that doesn't help me in taking good decisions. It is very important to keep breathing and keeping yourself calm to take those tough decisions on the ground.
Last evening at Pal, Sanju got a chance to bat at number 3. That's just for the third time in his career in ODIs so far. The last time he batted at number 3 prior to this year was way back in 2021 when he scored 46 off 46. In the 14 innings he's played in ODIs alone, Sanju Samson has scored over 500 runs at an average of over 55 at positions more often lower down the order. What has he done so horribly wrong to not be given the chances that he clearly deserves just going by the numbers? It's a fair question to ask. So many cricketers couldn't make it once India discovered its best wicketkeeper batter, who also happened to be one of the best captains India ever produced. We are, of course, referring to MS Dhoni. Let's just say it was something like that with Sanju so far, except that he makes up the rest. Since the emergence of Rishabh Pant and Ishan Kishan, it has been difficult for Sanju to keep a place in the side as a keeper. But even so, his batting has been flamboyant enough to ask the question, why not Sanju Samson, the batter? There should always be room for a batter who bats with the kind of flair and ferocity that Sanju displays, a match winner in true sense, especially in the shortest format of the game. He's confident, gritty, a team player who can bat any opposition out of any game. In his early days, he was that bright spark everyone was raving about. Rahul Dravid handpicked him years ago, saying he was India's future. And we truly believed that. Dravid was coaching the Rajasthan Royals IPL side back then. Sanju comes in with dreams in his eyes, and the journey that he's shared with the Rajasthan franchise has been nothing short of brilliant. From a newbie talent who put up blistering knocks for his side, to becoming a senior in the ranks and to now leading the Rajasthan Royals outfit, the transition has been nothing short of magical. The kind of faith and love that the franchise shows in him has helped him flourish and grow. It's made him mature into the leader that he's turned out to be, taking up the onus of wins and losses, getting the respect and the love from the many seniors who have played under his leadership. He's been an oasis of calm in a team that hasn't tasted much success at the Indian Premier League. The closest they came was in 2022 under his captaincy, losing to Gujarat Titans ultimately in the final, proving to be yet another reminder of just what Sanju could do in a winning outfit. The journey that he's enjoyed and cherished with the Rajasthan franchise is in some sense the kind of journey that he envisioned for himself in the Blues for Team India. It's been a rocky road for Sanju Samson, but this knock has come as a reminder to all that he's around, he's very much in it, and there's a lot more left from where that 100 came from. Also, don't forget to catch the Sanju Samson's biggest fan, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor, in an exclusive interaction that's up on our platform at Firstpost. Amidst all the chaos that goes on in the world, one of the best ways to get away from it all is, of course, through sports. It doesn't matter which sport you love. When you watch your favorite team or your favorite player, it can give goosebumps. In India, there is a fan following like none other for cricket. And we're not just talking about international matches, but even the Indian Premier League, the T20 tournament, deserves its own category. If you're a basketball fan, then the National Basketball Association or the NBA has you covered. If you love golf, then the PGA Tour is your go-to for everything the sport has to offer, or had to offer. The recent merger with Saudi-backed LIV Golf, Live Golf, has brought a disruption in that sport. But do you know the one thing which is common between all these leagues? They are all monopolies and are unilaterally controlled by one body. What do we mean by that? The IPL is controlled by the Board of Control for Cricket in India, or the BCCI. There is only one such league like the IPL, and it is up to the BCCI whether another competing league will ever take shape. The same goes with the NBA, which is dominated by North American basketball associations. And then, of course, when it came to golf, PGA Tour's monopoly was only recently broken after the merger with Live Golf. These monopolies are everywhere and in every sport, even the world's most popular game, football. Now, football is big world over. However, when it comes to leagues, Europe dominates all other continents. In fact, in Europe, one organization, the Union of European Football Associations, or UEFA, has held a stronghold on football. There is only one major football competition in Europe, the Champions League, and only UEFA is allowed to pull the strings here. For years, Europe's top club was declared by whichever team won the Champions League. Now things are changing. A European court has ruled against UEFA, calling their practices monopolistic. That's because UEFA and FIFA have been accused of trying to prevent another competition from gaining any ground. I'm talking, of course, of the Super League. The idea of Super League was started in 2021. 9 top teams from the English Premier League, La Liga, and the Italian League banded together to support a new football competition. They called it the Super League. The idea was to form a breakaway pan-European competition apart from UEFA's Champions League. However, protests from fans, UEFA and FIFA forced 9 out of those 12 clubs to back out. UEFA even threatened sanctions on the clubs if they didn't comply. It was only Real Madrid, Barcelona and Juventus that stood their ground. Now a European court has ruled in favor of the Super League and called UEFA's practices monopolistic. The verdict means that European clubs can now join other continental leagues without the threat of sanctions from UEFA. This is huge. This means there can be more than just the Champions League tournament for the elite clubs. UEFA is still in denial. They are saying that the court's rulings have been misinterpreted.
The ECJ certainly has not given the green light nor approved projects like the so-called Super League. We actually welcome the clarity that the ECJ have delivered today, including the endorsement of a pre-authorization system and UEFA's dual role as organizing and authorizing body. Now, the fact is, so-called European Super League has never requested authorization for its projects. Whatever they say differently is not true.
On the other hand, the Super League is calling it a new era in European football.
I think we have to look forward now. This is a new era which just started today. Don't look back, look forward. And we made another proposal. It's a proposal which was actually forged and generated with the input of a lot of clubs and stakeholders. It's still open to be shaped. We invite everybody to continue to contribute, but it has to be, in the end, and it will be, a proposal which will be liked by fans and supported by clubs.
And standing with the Super League are, of course, Real Madrid and Barcelona. The two clubs have hailed the decision.
At Real Madrid, we welcome with enormous satisfaction the decision adopted by the Court of Justice of the European Union, which is responsible for guaranteeing our principles, values and freedoms. In the coming days, we will carefully study the scope of this resolution, but I do anticipate 2 conclusions of great historical significance. Firstly, that European club football is not and will never again be a monopoly.
Barcelona even raised questions about UEFA's approach to European football.
The legal question of whether or not UEFA's current monopoly is compatible with European law needed to be clarified. Today, the resolution of the Court of Justice of the European Union has great relevance for the future of our sport and confirms that in the current status quo of European football, there is a monopoly situation incompatible with the principles of European law, just as we have said so for a long time.
Now it looks like an uprising against UEFA and the Champions League, an uprising against the old world order. So it looks like Europe will get another football tournament, the Super League, but we are not sure how many clubs will in fact want to break away and join hands with the Super League. Power, clout, influence and money, reasons that monopolies exist whether it resides with the NBA, the BCCI, or in this case, the UEFA. Live Golf, of course, broke that first with enough conviction and players backing. In this case, UEFA has been conducting the Champions League for over 70 years. Can the Super League really crack that hold? We'll know the answer to that soon enough. But one thing is sure, a change is around the corner and probably very much needed. Australian players and controversies. A match made for the pitch. Usman Khawaja was already drawing eyeballs for wearing shoes with a message for peace in Gaza during training. Then during the opening test against Pakistan, he wore a black band around his arm. All of this despite knowing that the International Cricket Council, or the ICC, does not allow any political messages. Khawaja says the black armband was not a political message, it was something personal to him. The ICC is not buying in. They have imposed a fine on Khawaja for breaching their code. But Khawaja is displaying his Aussie spirit. He has no plans of backing down. He says that he will fight the ICC and gain their approval. It helps that the Australian cricket is backing him. For now, the tussle between Usman Khawaja and the ICC is only intensifying.
Australian cricketer Usman Khawaja is in a bit of a pickle. The opener has been recently charged by the International Cricket Council, or ICC, of breaching their code for displaying political messages. The ICC does not allow players to display political, religious or racial cause messages. Khawaja first came under the scanner before the first test match between Australia and Pakistan. During the net sessions, Khawaja wore shoes which had a handwritten message for peace in Gaza. Australia's captain Pat Cummins supported Khawaja.
Again, Aussie doesn't want to make too big of a fuss. I think, his shoes, he had all lives are equal. I think that's not very divisive. I don't think anyone can really have too many complaints about that.
But the ICC issued a warning and barred Khawaja from wearing the shoes during the match, to which the Aussie complied. However, day one, as he came out to bat and right through the test, Khawaja was seen wearing a black armband. And that is why Khawaja has been reprimanded by the ICC. But the Aussie is taking it in his own stride.
So what was that, sorry? My reaction? Your reaction. ICC's reprimanded me? Yeah. Officially? Okay. Just making sure.
So what does Khawaja have in mind? He says that he's being unfairly called out and that his message for humanity is being misconstrued. Khawaja says he agreed to the ICC's demands about the shoes, but the armband was a personal message.
For me personally, dealing with the ICC, I don't think being reprimanded for wearing a black armband, which the ICC asked me on day two what it was for, I told it was for a personal bereavement. I never ever stated it was for anything else. The shoes were a different matter. I'm happy to say that. But the armband made no sense to me. I followed all the regulations, the past precedents. Guys have put stickers on their bats, names on their shoes, done all sorts of things in the past without ICC approval and never been reprimanded. I respect what the ICC and the rules and regulations they have. I just asked, and I will be asking them and contesting that they make it fair and equitable for everyone and they have consistency in how they officiate. That's all I ask for.
But the charges have worked. Khawaja has no more plans of wearing either the armband or the shoes.
No, I'm not wearing the armband again. As I said to the ICC, the armband was for a personal bereavement. So the armband was different to my shoes. My shoes were very obvious, and at the end of the day, I didn't wear the shoes. I taped them up in respect for the rules and procedures, and I left it at that.
Meanwhile, Cricket Australia are towing a sensitive line. On the one hand, they respect Khawaja's sentiments. At the same time, they agree that the ICC code has to be followed.
I mean, really, we're very clear that the ICC has rules in place for very good reason, and we expect our players to follow and comply with those regulations. The work that we've been doing since is to see if there's a really respectful way that is very much unifying, brings people together to allow Aussie to really share his message, and that's the subject now of ICC consideration.
It doesn't look like this is going to die down easily. Khawaja wants to take on the ICC, and the ICC wants to ensure a certain decorum in the gentleman's sport. Because if the rule applies to one, it should apply to all.
Now, if you're a football fan, legends like Kaka, John Terry and Julio Cesar will make you nostalgic. They graced the football field in Saudi Arabia and kicked the ball around with young women footballers. For today's last serve, we'd like to leave you with those shots. They'll make your day.
You speak French?
Yes. You can have massage. You can have what you want, right?
Definitely heartwarming visuals that. Thanks so much for watching Firstpost here today with me. Have a very happy, festive weekend. I'll of course see you on the other side next week on Monday at 7 p.m. Take care. Bye.